everybody. Sophia Soda with the Nerds of Color. Huge fan
Hi.
of both of you. Thank
Oh,
you so
thank
much for your
you.
time today.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Of course. So to start off, the true crime podcast that the series is based on has started some really important conversations about the healthcare system and the safety of patients, which is so amazing. Why do you think bringing this story to television, another medium, in this way is so beneficial? And what conversations do you hope it inspires for those who don't know the story?
Wow, that's a really good
Yeah.
question. I
Thank you
mean,
so much.
yeah, of course. I mean, I think just like diving in and being able to have these very important conversations in whatever context and whatever medium is important. So if people are getting that on a podcast and obviously getting it from a TV show, I know I was a fan of season one and I was floored at some of the statistics that were sort of shown at the end of the series. And
Yeah.
you're like, wow, this is the third leading cause of death in the United States. That's wild. Like that sort of stuff is mind boggling. And ultimately, I hope it does engender a conversation around advocating for oneself and recognizing that you are your own strongest, best advocate when it comes to navigating the medical system, and obviously not to have just like an inherent distrust of these sorts of institutions, but to call into question like checking your own gut when it feels necessary. And yeah, I just think I think it's fun to sort of like be able to tell a really dark dramatized story like this that obviously is based on true events in a very respectful manner, but obviously having these sorts of like really worthy, important conversations too around health and advocacy in the medical world.
Mandy, you want to talk about my question? What about that answer? That was such a
No,
good
no,
answer.
that's
Oh my
fine.
Perfect. Yeah.
gosh. You're so well spoken. Edgar, anything to add to that? Mandy, amazing.
No,
No,
come
very
on.
few. Just to say you're totally right, and that's. I mean, it's just great when good drama
Yeah,
and good storytelling can open up the space for the most such needed conversations
yeah,
in society. I mean, that's where when drama can touch upon issues and subjects that really that
yeah.
impact our lives on a very pragmatic, inevitable way. That's the dream.
Yeah,
When you can open up space for reflection and for
yeah.
conversation.
It's so, so true. I believe TV should really has the power to start so many conversations.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, did this season leave you both thinking of anything in a new way or questioning certain things that maybe you would have gotten like past you or not captured your attention in the same way if you were not part of this project? Because I know it did that for me.
That's so nice to hear. I
Yeah.
mean, I think specifically speaking to the storyline that I was a part of with Benita, the idea of destigmatizing the shame and guilt that comes along with being a so-called like victim and victimhood and
Yes.
blaming victims, like, I think is a really worthy conversation. And I hope that's like part of Benita's legacy in the world, like her vulnerability and sharing her story is ultimately what led to accountability for Paolo and the whistleblowers and all of that. So I think it's really worthy, and I hope that she's able to like take stock and solace in us helping tell her, continuing to tell her story, because she's obviously telling her own story out in the world, but this sort of dramatized version, I hope it draws attention to the fact that like if this could happen to a capable, smart, accomplished woman like Benita, it could happen to anyone. So hopefully she
Yeah.
serves as a surrogate for the audience to be able to see themselves in a new light and recognize like, wow, if it happened to her, it could happen to me. And it seems totally implausible, like on the surface, if you're like, wow, this woman believed that her fiance they were going to get married in Italy and the Pope was going to officiate their wedding. And it's like, sure, but this is a world renowned surgeon who is a masterful manipulator and who planted these seeds over years and like knows how to do this to a degree that like would like blow your mind. And so over time, obviously these sort of like seeds germinate and become like, it becomes totally believable that he would be a part of some secret society of surgeons that like performs on the Pope and ex-presidents and diplomats. And so yeah, the Obamas are coming to their wedding and the Clintons are close personal friends of his. And again, on the surface it seems so outrageous, but like over time it's believable. And
Yeah.
in Edgar's very capable hands as well, like it's even more believable that someone like Benita would you know, really just lean into the fairy tale fantasy aspect of that level of deceit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one is above or exempt of being the victim of a deception.
Yeah.
I mean, no one is above manipulation. No one is above of being at the unfortunate receiving end of manipulation. And the question should never be, how could you believe him? How could you believe this situation? Is how can people use their skills and talent to damage other people in that way? That should be the question, not the other way around. Because it happens. Unfortunately, it happens way too much. And we have seen over and over how especially women are always blamed for having believed other people, when there are people with enough skills and talent to be able to manipulate, to put together a couple of true facts. It's almost like sandwich the truth. You know, you put a lie, a truth, and another lie, and you eat the sandwich, and it's easy because the meat is true, but all the elements are fictional or untrue. So it's easy to do that, and that's what these masterful manipulators do. They're con artists. I mean, they know how to play on your vulnerabilities, on your weakness, on your unfinished stories.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The things that you always dreamed of. I mean, there are people who are just very empathetic, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. They know how to use it against
They know
you.
how to use it. But what is the unfinished story? What is your unfinished chapter in your life? What is that thing that you always wanted and never, for whatever reason, never achieved? What is that? And then let me play into that. So unfortunately, it happens, and it happens to all of us. It's happened to all of us on many different levels.
Yeah.
So I really, as Mandy pointed out, I really hope that for anyone who sees this show, they can feel that they have the right to move forward and say, yes, I was deceived, because these people who deceived me were very smart and very skillful, and not because I was naive or stupid or I was less smart than anyone else.
Yeah. I can't think of a better way to end it. Thank you so much for your answers. Congratulations on your incredible work, and such a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Thanks, likewise.
The activists, directors, comments and the lectures, fanboys, professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.